Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Irish Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Sensational Queen Lizzie, at your service. And of course, it is himself, the one and only Booker G. 5 times. And we are only delighted to be joined on this fine evening by the one and only. What can I say about our co-star? The next biggest thing in Irish wrestling from what we have seen over the recent weeks. It has to be the one and only Mark, all the way from Wrestling Mobs. Mark, what's the crack? How's it going?
I'm absolutely flying it. That's probably the best introduction I've ever had in my life. The most compliments I've ever had in my life.
Come here.
I have a big enough head as it is. It's probably going to be expanding by the time this podcast is over. But no, I'm absolutely flying it. Wonderful sunny weather here in Dublin. So yeah, it looks equally as bright down in Cork. So listen, no complaints at all. Looking to get stuck into now a good hour of wrestling discussion.
Fantastic. And you'll remember us when you're headlining WrestleMania, won't you?
Jesus, come on now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here now.
I'm just saying, Mark. just remember what side your bread is buttered, all right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, we're coming down. We have there's going to be probably a run-in a few minutes, I'm pretty sure, because I think we might need assistance. So we might get a run-in, help might be on hand. You never know, but we'll see what happens. Momentarily. And we are thrilled to be very, very fortunate to have such a high standard and a packed out schedule of wrestling, not in Europe, here in Ireland. Don't mind the rest of the continent. Here in Ireland, it's jam-packed. There is something on, if not every weekend, every second weekend, every other weekend, from Fridays right through to Sundays, daytime, evening time. If there's not shows, there's seminars. If there's not seminars, there's training. If there's not training, there's promo class. There's just so much going on, including even Foxy's own referee sessions. Unbelievable. I don't think there's a greater time than now to be a wrestling fan, not just of all the huge worldwide promotions, but our own homegrown talent. We are so fortunate, and God help us, don't care, come at me all you want. We have probably some of the best wrestlers in Europe, and I will take that down with me, and anyone else who wants to call, take his down too. We have unbelievable. The talent that we have here in Ireland, and the fact that we are in such demand across the rest of Europe speaks volumes. I don't have to sing praises of anybody. That speaks volumes on its own. And it just creates such amazing opportunities for our own talent and for talent across Europe who are so keen to learn from our own superstars. So massive, massive shout out to everybody in the Irish wrestling scene for an action-packed summer so far, and so much more to come. When you see all the dates and stuff to be released, I don't know if you're like me, guys. Are you kind of buzzing that you're like, right, I'm going to be here this day, I'm going to be here that day. I think I can make that one. If I move that, I can make that one. If I drive here and get here. Isn't it great to have that buzz back?
100%. And yeah, and like it's hard to, you do try to balance it with real life, because you can't get ahead of yourself with the excitement around wrestling, particularly the kind of momentum everybody has in the scene. And just to kind of put you guys over more than anything, I think the time commitment you guys are putting in to travel up around the country, and we'll touch on it shortly, but like for the School of Irish Wrestling seminar last week, transporting yourself from the real Republic of Ireland, Cove County Cork, all the way up to sunny South Circular Road here in Dublin for 3 days, recording out of your way, committing that time and a financial investment to stay up here, spend time with people you get on with, people you enjoy recording and interviewing, committing to your brand. That was a huge commitment from yourselves. And I can't wait for that finished product to come out, because it was a huge piece of work from you. It's absolutely excellent as well.
And speaking of a huge piece of work, we've got a run.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Interrupting the match.
What a segue.
It's a distraction finish himself. The one and only Mr. Niall Fox.
What does the fox say?
He's here.
Hey.
We told you there'd be a running league.
They're great glasses.
There he is, like, we told you there would be a running.
That's got to be Kane. Oh, wait, sorry.
Fantastic. Foxy, we were just singing your praises, and we were saying we might need a bit of help, and there could be a running, so just expect the unexpected. And out came the silver fox. What's happening? How are we?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to fucking manage in this stupid heat.
Yeah,
isn't it crazy? It's just so whatever you're watching from, I'm sure if you're in Ireland, you know that we've had some beautiful weather over the last week. Don't you love the wrestling podcast? I mean, you're Irish, you have to go into the weather, don't you? You're like,
otherwise your passport is revoked. Like, if you don't
see those t-shirts, Foxy, if they ever get washed, they'll be dried in seconds out in that heat. Now
there's great drying out there, Foxy. We were only just chatting about it. There's great drying out there. I tell you, you'll get 3 loads done minimum. You will.
Great drying weather.
Was there ever been a wrestler who was a weatherman?
Jerry, like, that is you all day.
How great would that be?
All those promos are like about weather.
Like chance of rain, chance of a run-in. Like, you know, like 3. Do you know Eric Bischoff used to do the 3-minute warning? That could be to you. You could be like a chance of something. The weatherman Jerry.
Thunder, I'm bringing the lightning.
And then out through the wall comes, stand back, there's a hurricane coming. It would just be immense, immense, wouldn't it? Jerry, I'm telling you.
Jerry,
what a gimmick.
Next RCW show, that's you. It's got to be done.
I ain't taking
You've been told.
Oh my God, how great would that be? And they have to have like Jared Fleming's winking weatherman as well. You know, he has to wink every time, you know, he gives you the good news. It'd be like a winking version.
Sure, you know yourself.
Barrett.
Wink, wink.
Bad news, Barrett.
I love it. The winking version when you get the Ola. Have a nice evening. Love it. So yeah, aside from the weather being beautiful, we're all sweating like demons because it's so humid and mucky and the sun only comes out occasionally. So we're just kind of sat in this big sweaty Dutch oven. To be honest, that's kind of where we are. But not to worry, we won't complain.
Thank God for Manscaped.
Yes.
Oh my God. Is that not true?
Podcast. We'll get onto them.
No word of a lie. We will get onto it. But in this crazy, sweaty weather, lost without Manscaped, wouldn't you be? You would. There'd be stuff stuck to your leg. It would be desperate, like. But moving on from that, I'll chat about that in a second. We were just saying there, Foxy, about the Irish wrestling scene this summer and how manic, busy, crazy it is, and how there's something on every weekend, if not every other weekend. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, afternoons, evenings, seminars, classes, training, you name it. There's everything that's going on, and we're super, super lucky to be wrestling fans. Irish wrestling fans of Irish wrestling, not even just what's going on in the continent, what's going on here on our own doorstep.
And that's just Foxy.
This is it. That's just Foxy's that's just Foxy's weekly diary. Do you know what I mean? That's just Foxy's weekly diary.
That's a lot going on.
Madness. But you know what? We're going to crack straight into it because we've had a very, very busy few weeks when it comes to the Irish wrestling scene and what's been on. We have listing them out. We have had, first and foremost, over the weekend of the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of June, we had an absolutely outstanding seminar up in, well, you'd call it even a seminar, to be honest with you. It was a 3-day long
festival. It was a training camp.
Literally a training camp, wasn't it? A training boot camp of sorts, you would say, wouldn't you? But
phenomenal.
It's very hard to quantify exactly because there was so much packed into it, and you'd be afraid if you labeled it as something you'd miss something, right? But the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th of June, there was, of course, huge event up for the School of Irish Wrestling. Members of the team were very, very lucky to be part of it. Of course, Foxy was in there giving it absolute socks, putting them all in their place and telling them what to do and directing them around the ring like he does, like our little ring general Foxy. And myself and Jerry and Colin were very, very lucky that we got to attend over a selection was over the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And my God, our eyes opened. And I mean, as fans, we always know that there's so much more that goes into the training aspect, the putting matches together, the theatrics of it, the awareness, the placement, and it's just the communication, unbelievable. But if you were ever interested in becoming a wrestler, my God, will your eyes be opened if you were to attend something similar to this? There's so much that goes into it, and I take notes at everything, right? People think I'm fierce snobby. I'm absolutely not. I have a head like a sieve. I can tell you what happened 10 years ago at 4:30 in the afternoon when he made a mistake. Not a bother. I'll tell you what he was wearing. What to have my breakfast? I'm going to have to check because it's wrote down somewhere. Hopeless.
You're wearing your blue jumper.
That's what it is. No, I'm a bit more like, see these cows, they're not near, they're far away kind of a way. So with that, definitely not snobby. I have never taken so many notes than I did over that weekend. I mean pages, because there was just so much to take content from, and I cannot wait until we get it out there. The lads are working mad trying to get it done. But we're going to kick straight into the OTT seminar, guys. And I think we should get it from kind of everybody's point of view. And I want to kick off with Mark. There's a reason I left Mark out, because Mark, our very own little wrestle mobster, was inside the ring training to become the next big thing. So I am dying to hear, Mark, what you thought of it, because you were right in the middle of the action, the nitty gritty, like bumping. You were pulling out the moves, the chops and the slaps and the corner kicks. It was just, to see you in action was just, you know what? It makes you want to get into yourself. But I'm dying to, I'm sure you are as well, dying to hear from Mark. How was it for you?
It's brilliant. Yeah, it was brilliant. And Foxy was giving out to me loads, which is even more enjoyable. But he's calling me timid at one point. But I took that to heart. I forgot about it, obviously. But anyway, no, it was an unbelievable 3 days. Yeah, let's not. I broke my neck a number of years ago, so I'd hurt my neck again in January. So I'd stepped away, and then I've slowly been doing bits and pieces, doing a couple of bits of Foxy down in Limerick at Hard Knock School, and like yourselves, I was due to be down on Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the seminar, taking notes, recording things, and I just decided to bring my boots and knee pads with me, and I kind of want to do a bit, even just like slowly roll around, take it one bump at a time, one roll at a time, and it was absolutely incredible. I was fortunate to be kind of given the space to kind of gently ease myself back into the beginner's class. And yeah, listen, Paddy Morrow, Session Martina, Foxy, Sky Davis, Sammy D, they were all kind of looking after the group at different points, and it was incredible. Everybody was different levels were catered for, the physical capabilities were catered for. Everybody's unbelievably patient in explaining and outlining what techniques are around safety and whatnot. And then across the room, you had the likes of Joe and Paul Tracy, really murdering people, which was awesome to see. And it was really gutting not to be on that side of the room, particularly for Paul Tracy's one, where it just looked like an unbelievably intense boot camp, but it looked so much fun. Yeah, like I mean, I said it to Jerry, like just from obviously from your Navy background and stuff. I was like, that looks unbelievable. I'd love to. Just how
that rough.
Yeah, it looked like it looked.
Paul Tracy was doing. I was literally here filming it, and I was like, I wanted to get in there and just do what they were.
You had PTSD when you seen that. You were
that was crazy.
Oh no.
Like
I don't miss those days.
Yeah, it looked incredible though, like for hours on end, and like I'd say there was hundreds of people in the room at one point, and like the different groups, there's at least close to 20 people in the beginners group. There was like 70 odd, I think, in total over the course of the weekend in the advanced group, and people from all over the continent.
Yeah.
I think I said in a promo at one point, every Tom, Dick, and Luigi from Europe were over. So it was really, really good and really entertaining, as much of a networking opportunity, just to meet so many different people and talk about their own wrestling journeys and the commitment they're making. Those people who'd flown over from Israel, as far as Israel, just for the weekend. Like it's incredible commitment to themselves and to their craft and to something they love and enjoy. It was inspiring. And yeah, like it came out, you'd left that weekend, despite it being a 3-day course and you were absolutely wiped out. You had such a bounce in your step by the end of the weekend, and you were just had a renewed love and passion for the actual technical side of wrestling and the enjoyment around it, and how welcoming the community really is. Because I think wrestling can be tarred with a funny brush, that like it can be kind of disrespectful to outsiders, or people aren't necessarily welcome. I've never found that to be the case whatsoever, particularly in Irish wrestling. And every community I've come across, everybody's been more than welcoming. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about that weekend. And to Mr. Fox, of course.
Oh, fantastic, Mr. Fox, definitely. I mean, like, as you say, unbelievable, and such a learning opportunity. You're never too old to learn something new, or never too long in the game to learn something new, or to network, build bridges, forge those professional and personal relationships, and just to fine-tune your craft, you know. From a completely different perspective then, Foxy, how was it for you seeing, I suppose, well, I mean, there's obviously a stark contrast between those who were starting out in the beginners class maybe, and obviously those who are honing their craft and tightening things up in the advanced ring, but you kind of got to look at both. How do you feel it went for you, and what was your overall opinion of the weekend?
So, unfortunately, I couldn't do the full weekend. I could only do like Friday and the Sunday, because real life comes into play, so that had to be sorted. But no, like it was amazing to see the difference from the beginners from the Friday
Yes.
to to what they were by the end of Sunday, which is crazy because you very rarely get either training camp or open day where beginners take to it that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it just blew my mind, and especially in terms of if these people do stick at it, jeez, where are we going to be at in about 6 months' time? Like so, like that's which is crazy, and that's just the beginners. Like that's not saying about like the advanced people that flew over in order to train, and just seeing them being put through their paces with something that's completely different to them. Like they're definitely out of their comfort zone because first and foremost, they're not in their home country anymore. They're in a different country, learning from different people with different way of doing things, and to the highest level as well possible. You also had Joel Redmond come over on the Sunday to really like teach and fine tune on their actual like in ring skills, as well as Joe Bray like shouting for a good bit of it, but like rightfully so at times. No, it's a very specific thing that has it's simple instructions, but like again, trying to get people's mind to start racing and start picking up this information quickly, especially with so many there. You've no choice but to actually like fly through everything, just so that way everyone gets an equal opportunity in order to be able to train or to try this or to make an attempt to even ask questions about it. Paul Tracy just putting them through their paces on the Saturday, which I don't miss those sessions whatsoever. I don't miss them, but it is good to see like the enthusiasm of the people that were involved on the Saturday as well. But like again, it's like one of the big things for the weekend was this is your chance. Make your connections, talk to people because you never know who or where down the line you might be, or you may need to be. So make those connections. You never know. You could talk to someone, one of the lads from like we had people from like as far as Mark said from Israel. We had England, Scotland, Italy, France, Germany,
Mexico.
Portugal anyway. Yeah, there was Portugal, Spain,
yes, that's what I was trying to think.
I got you.
And it's crazy. Even like it's crazy to see how talented like these people are in their own right. But then obviously you had we couldn't fit everyone on what was to come, which was the Contenders show on the Sunday. But those that made it onto the show, like definitely impressed. Anyway, there was a lot of people there. So there was going to be that air of disappointment for people that did come over, but you can only fit so many on a show, and those that did show up, like that got picked and actually like performed on the show did amazingly well.
I think the seminar itself, the way it was structured, like because there were like you said, there were so many people there. But during we weren't there for the Friday, but the Saturday, Sunday, when I was doing filming around, nobody was left out.
No,
everybody had the same amount of time in the ring to do whatever they had with Joel or Paul Tracy or Joe or whoever it was. There was nobody standing around like. On the Huffs and they're getting more time than me. Like they, regardless if they got on the Contenders or not, they got that knowledge throughout the whole weekend, and nobody was left to the side. They all got as much knowledge as they could. For that was the point. Obviously you want to get on the show, fair enough. Like, but the purpose of the whole weekend is to
learn
pick up that training, that learning experience, and take it back with you, and hone your skill back wherever you've come from, and get better and better. And like you said, in a year or two, like a lot of them talents are, could be back in OTT. It could be, going on somewhere bigger.
Definitely.
But there was even a referee over from travel and work with you, Niall. So like that shows how well thought of like yourself and OTT and the whole brand of these Contenders weekends are thought of. And just to kind of flag back on giving kudos to you guys, the work you guys did on Saturday and Sunday in terms of don't think there's a piece of information that wasn't written down, Lizzie. I said there wasn't anything in either ring that wasn't picked up in either camera between yourself, Colin, Jerry. So listen, huge kudos to you on that, and I'm sure it'll be an unbelievable piece of work when it does come out eventually on that kind of blog series.
Definitely cannot wait to see how that turns out. And we even managed to grab Paddy Morrow for a quiz with Liz. So you're going to absolutely love that. Couple of questions I think he needs a second go on. He just wasn't sure about and just gave the wrong answer by mistake. Anyway, Paddy, Taylor Swift hater. So with that, as we said, there was an awful lot of content films, so we cannot wait to get that out to you so you can get a real in-depth look of exactly what goes on at one of these weekends and to make sure that you're signed up for the next one. Following on from that then, a beautiful bow was put on the top of this weekend on the Sunday evening in the form of the Contenders event. And I just say, even though there probably was a bit of an air of disappointment, okay, but everybody, all of the trainees, the new beginners, they were all sat in the audience cheering every single person on. And that is just, that attributes to the level of engagement that was created over the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You know, you can't always get that. And to keep everybody that engaged, for them to go home and change and get ready and come back for the show and not just walk out the door and thought that, like for a game of soldiers, they came back and supported their colleagues, regardless of whether they were training with them or not. And we stayed for the Contenders show. And love, what did you think of the Contenders show?
Brilliant.
So good.
Again, like, because we were there during the seminar, like getting to see people that you spoken to throughout the weekend and seeing them on the show, you know, you kind of felt like that connection, like, oh, you want to support them out there. And overall, like, there was 11 matches, and it was structured so well. Like, everything had, you know, they're big on times for the matches, and it flowed so well. Like, there was no, like, you know, pauses. Nobody was unsure of what they were doing. There's no, like, really anything there that said, oh, you know, they shouldn't be in it and somebody else should have been in it, kind of thing. Everybody had their place. They knew what they were doing. And the fact that, you know, most of them had maybe an hour, maybe less to prepare for the match, having never wrestled each other before, and went out there and smashed it. Like, they all had great matches. So, you know, when it comes out in demand, I'm not sure when it's due to come out, hopefully in the next week or so, go and watch it. They're 11 matches, but they're 11 quick matches. They're not, you know, 20-minute bangers. There's no fucking, you know, big fucking ladder matches or anything. It's all just perfectly structured matches. So make sure you go and watch it when it comes out.
There was one or two cool things from that show. Is like there's a lot of people who flew in from different countries, and obviously there's a lot of international based students who are living over here in Ireland who've come over to train in the School of Irish Wrestling. So it's cool to see a lot, particularly the Italian crowd. It's Italian cohort got to wrestle with their own compatriots in our Irish-based Italians versus kind of flying Italians for the weekend. That was kind of a nice little moment. They obviously, a lot of them knew each other as well. So small things like that I thought were a really nice touch.
All hail King Alex.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wouldn't tell anybody anything here. But yeah, it was just, definitely Contenders was amazing, and definitely an eye opener for not only us, but I would imagine everybody who was attending that weekend, you know. And the fact that the sun was splitting the rocks for the entire weekend and everybody still turned up. You know, that's a testament to the weekend itself. So yeah, great job all around. Keep an eye on Irish Wrestling Entertainment, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and of course TikTok when all of these come out. Super exciting times ahead. Then moving a little bit forward then, very, very recent show was Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. Now, for those of you who have not been to a Fight Factory Pro Wrestling show yet, right, you don't know what you are missing, okay? It's very, very hard you can't quantify or classify the Irish wrestling promotions. They all bring something different to the market. They all do. You'll see a lot of familiar faces, but you'll see them in different lights. You will see them using different skills. They have to dig deep into the toolbox to pull something out when they visit another promotion, whether it's OTT, whether it's Hard Knocks, whether it's RCW, whether it's NLW, whether it's Titanic, whether it's Fight Factory, etc., etc. So you'll always get to see something different when you go to these shows. Before we speak about the one that has just happened, they have obviously just had a massive announcement regarding their next show. The one and only poor Katie Harvey has taken a bit of time off because she's only bait, right? But I'm sure she'll be lurking somewhere around nearby. And she's going to be handing control over for the show I don't know about G. Is anybody else slightly concerned about this?
LJ's got a good head in his shoulders, but Fabio, I don't know. I things could go off the wall, could go a
This
bit
is the
haywire.
thing.
This is like who's a bad influence on who's going to be
Yes.
who's going to be the angel on the shoulder, the devil on the shoulder. What's way is it going to go? Foxy, what referee attire are you going to wear? How many times are you going to be attacked, blindsided? Like
Who knows?
all these things are up in the air, and it's caused mass confusion and concern and consternation. But more importantly, makes it a can't miss show. And I think the amount of people who've gone out of their way today already at 6 p.m. today when tickets went live on sale. To get tickets, there's been a huge demand for this already, and Fight Factory have gone out of their way, following consultation with some other fans, to in the venue to provide an additional level of seating as well for some people who've attended the shows recently who mightn't be able to stand for a number of hours. So to kind of accommodate for that as well, to make it a more welcoming and holistic environment as well. Fight Factory fan or staff have put on these specific tickets on Eventbrite. There's a limited number of tickets in general left, so please go out of your way to get your tickets now for that show on the 7th of July. See what happens to Foxy. Will Foxy be in a tutu? Who knows? Will be any fancy
full on Borat, I'm sure.
I saw Foxy was dancing on Friday.
I don't.
Listen, I'm a man of the know. I won't say anymore. Foxy was dancing on Friday. It could be dancing again. Ballet. I wouldn't put Edmonton past you. I've seen you do moonsaults. So listen, we'll see what happens. Buy your tickets now on eventbrite.ie, please.
Definitely do, because it's just, I'm sorry, if anything to go by, anything that's called the Fresh Life Summer Party, you kind of want to be there just because of the name of it, to be honest with you. And as you said, look, yes, LJ has a good head in his shoulders, but there's always that one friend who orders shots and you shouldn't have any more, but you still have it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So I'm not putting too much hope into LJ, even though as much as we love him, I'm sure things may go astray when he's out with Bestie, but definitely worth seeing their show coming up on July the 7th. Tickets are already limited and nearly gone, and it's almost 4 weeks away. That's madness. Get yourselves up on a Friday night, get down to the Fight Factory and have an absolutely fantastic night and be entertained to the last. So previous show, dear, shall I hand it over to yourself with regard to wait, what's the word I'm trying to say? Our previous. Our previous.
That was an easy
we're going to hand it over to Mark. Mark's going to look after Fight Factory for us.
Yeah, so listen, we're going to run through the results of this Fight Factory show on Friday night. Like, obviously, it was a landmark show with some really surprising results in some aspects, or some ways where it kind of went a bit pear-shaped compared to what we maybe expected. But I think that everybody who left the venue, from what everybody I spoke to anyway, said it was an unbelievably good night, thoroughly enjoyable night, a balmy, sticky night from what I understand as well. So, Colin was, he's told me he's sweating buckets, so God love him. Listen, start the night off, we had two of my favorite wrestlers in the entire country. One of them, and I think one of the most underappreciated wrestlers in the country, Terry Thatcher, beat Preach, yes, absolutely, beat the one and only CBL. This is supposed to be an incredibly hard-hitting match. Both guys went hell for leather from the off, left absolutely everything out in the ring. And I said it was a real tone-setting match for the event itself. And we had the one and only Mr. Fox was lucky enough to be in the middle of this, and I'm sure it was the sentiment to the hardest working and most enthusiastic fighting wrestlers in the country at the minute. I think I love how both of them can kind of get stuck into each other at this point anytime you go to see them in a ring. So what were your thoughts on it, Foxy?
Right, for that match, it was definitely two boys left it all there. It was hard hitting, but as Terry put up on Twitter, respect is earned, and CBL earned his respect, and it was a very enjoyable back and forward match, and I'd be happy to see them wrestle each other again anytime, because they're both insanely talented.
Yeah, I think you see CBL in particular, event by event this year, every match he seems to be just getting more and more physical, fronting up, and being more and more assured in himself in terms of, this is who I am, I will fight you. Looks like he's got that level of composure and happy to kind of get stuck into people. And even from that 4-way down in RCW a few months back, even every event I've seen him from then, he's risen in stature, risen in confidence. So I couldn't be happier for him as well. Following that then, poor Niall had a a horror show in this match. He was assaulted again. So with the Bearded Beauties up against Scalacini, AJ Scraggs.
Mark, you're so nonchalant. He was assaulted again. So the Bearded Beauties.
It's an
No
ongoing.
biggie. He's well used to
No,
get assaulted.
This is an ongoing issue, and like nobody seems to be calling it out. And this is a hazard to the workplace. Poor Niall he's got a claim on his hands, if anything, and that's my view anyway.
There's the
Games in wrestling. Those things don't exist.
No, listen,
Oh.
listen, it's a hazardous workplace anyway. I should lodge a HR complaint on your behalf, but anyway, the Bearded Beauties beat Galacini and AJ Scraggs, and the one and only Axel Jarrett came in and cleared house to support his step hermano Galacini to save the day. As the Bearded Beauties ran off. Niall, how are you after this? Do you remember the event? Are you okay? How's your health following this?
I remember there was a tree, so yeah. So what happened in between? I don't know.
But as far as Collins reported back, that it was a really enjoyable comedy-based match. Galacini and AJ Scraggs had their usual odd couple kind of back and forth. Bearded Beauties, as physical as they are, they also can mix it up with their natural charisma and their confidence and their abilities as well. The obviously brought up to the point where you die, and then from there AJ comes in, saves house, and Axel Jarrett makes his Fight Factory debut, which I'm absolutely delighted for. For everybody who's familiar with the Hard Knock scene, RCW scene, AJ's flown over from Spain. He's emigrated over to sunny, beautiful Limerick. As part of the Hard Knocks crew. He's training every day of the week, lives, breathes, and sleeps wrestling. And now he lives, sleeps, and breathes Limerick City as well. He's a huge loves Limerick hurling. He loves the Rubber Bandits. If you see him walking around streets of Limerick, he's more often like got a Super Value bag in his head. He's dived in with 2 feet. He's a Limerick man through and through. So you love to see, and I couldn't be happier for him. Following that, then we had the one and only JB. It was his birthday. Allegedly, he was 45. But it was Party Boy put on these celebrations for him. But sadly, these were erupted by that elusive, dastardly Anita Vaughn. This led then, following that, then in a natural course of order, as it is in wrestling, this led to a match. And this led to a match between JB and Anita Vaughn. And JB won, as far as I'm aware. Niall, if you...
Yes.
Yes, that's good. Thank you. And then from there, Party Boy. This sounded sinister when it was reported back to me now, but I'm sure it made sense at the time. Party Boy tied Anita to the ropes. Now, that sounds a bit weird. But I think cake was smashed into her face, so maybe that makes it okay. I don't know. That sounds weird to me. Colin seemed to thoroughly enjoy it. He has a bit of a love-hate thing with Anita. I'd say Colin probably instigated more. Do you know what? Colin's not on this podcast, and I say there's a good reason behind that, because he's.
I have video footage of them speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. No, you didn't. I told you, it's coming from a place of love. It absolutely is. See, he'd be pulling her pigtails in school, he would.
That's well.
She wanted it. She wanted it.
Yeah, 100%.
Fair enough. Okay. And then from there, one match I was looking forward to for most of the night. Then we went to the Irish Wrestling Tag Team Championships. We had the Saves of Destiny against the one and only Fresh Life, obviously consisting of LJ Cleary, Fabio, the 2 former Irish Junior Heavyweight Champions. This was a funny one.
This was fun.
It was lasted about 30 seconds maximum before Fresh Life won. Fabio caught Andy coming off the top rope with a cutter for the win 30 seconds in. Now maybe jumping off the top rope 30 seconds into a match isn't the best idea. Maybe that's why you don't do it so early in the match, wait for somebody to be fatigued, obviously, so there's a prime opening perhaps. But listen, you live and learn. I'm sure the Saves of Destiny have lodged their request for a mandated rematch. I'm sure the Fresh Life will likely grant that request at one of the upcoming shows, perhaps. I think everybody's caught quite unawares by this result. Not something they're expecting. I think everybody's probably expecting a half an hour matinee match, much like maybe the Boisterous Behaviour match. But yeah, listen, new Irish Tag Team Champions. What do you think of Foxy?
I would not be surprised if this leads to a best of series, to be honest, because they have faced each other before and it was a different outcome. Now it's almost like they're gonna have a rubber match basically.
Yeah.
But regardless, you have two very, very capable tag teams. Like one is so like flamboyant and charismatic, like and just fun, and then the other team is very charismatic themselves, like more serious and just and can be very vicious when they need to be.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic that like I look forward to seeing more of them, and especially if the strange entrance musics continue, because I enjoyed this one.
Why are people choosing?
What do they have? What do they have?
They had bloody Backstreet Boys when Shaggy Wasn't Me was there. Like Shaggy Wasn't Me is all day. Go for that option. Why would you go for Backstreet?
They had Backstreet Boys. Like
so cringy.
They want it that way.
Yeah. No. What would you have gone for, Jerry?
We need a new vote.
Oh, definitely gone Shaggy all day.
But for this one,
absolutely, yeah.
In the summertime. In the summertime when the weather is high, they gotta come out to that now for this one.
They don't know who Mungo Jerry is. There's not a chance they know who Mungo Jerry is.
That's probably not, to be fair.
We're all showing our age now, anyway.
Bit of Will Smith, so summer. We'll just sit back and wine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store. But like in terms of that quick result, I do like, a lot of people give out for this type of thing in wrestling. I don't like when people say like, oh, it should have had 20 minutes minimum, but like, you're portraying a physical fight. Like that happens in UFC, that happens in boxing, people get knocked out quickly. I really enjoyed the John Moxley CM Punk result last summer when Punk got an injury the first 10 seconds, Moxley took advantage and scored the win. Conor McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. Like, this happens. You don't
this is why people come back and watch wrestling, because it's not always going to be the same thing.
Yeah, piques your interest and makes you sit up and go, oh, sorry, what was that there? That's what you want. You want, like, if you want to go watch 60-minute matches, be my guest. Watch every New Japan. Stay up at 6 a.m. Watch every New Japan thing in the world. It's brilliant, but like, it's going to be quite repetitive. You want something, a bit of variety. You want something that can make you take notice. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I really enjoy this booking. But anyway, back to the matter at hand. My man, my favorite wrestler in the Ireland of Ireland, Jay Steins, Gangland, beat Debbie Keitel by fatality. He killed her.
With the cop killer.
He killed her. This is Gangland. My boy Jay killed Debbie Keitel, who came out in a police uniform, so naturally he was gonna have to murder her. So the death proof Debbie has been proven to be not death proof, as she's dead. But thankfully, sorry, go on.
Thanks to like Jesus J.
Yeah, so thankfully, like, this may have been a couple of months too late. We could have tied this in around Easter. However, Jesus appeared. He came back again. So he came back at Easter. He's back in the middle of the summer, and he's come to Dublin 3. So he came back in the middle of summer. He resurrected Debbie Keitel, so she's now on her last life. Thankfully, thank God, says you, Lizzie. And miraculously now she's back to defend her moniker as Death Proof Debbie, and lo and behold, Jesus was proven to be J Money. So there you are. You can see.
I always wondered.
Always bet on Jesus.
Always wondered what the J stood for in J Money.
There you go.
I thought it was Jack, but here we know it's Jesus.
Turning up and explain the weather, but there you go. It's J Money. I love it. Jesus Money.
I've always said it. Jesus sound. Anyway, then from there we had into our penultimate match of the evening. We had Jungle Jill all the way over from sunny Belgium and beat Corey Zero. Foxy, what did you think of this? Was this the same Corey Zero who was at the School of Irish Wrestling camp last week?
Yes.
Hugely impressed. Hugely impressed. Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant talent.
Like Corey Zero, she made her debut at the School of Irish Wrestling camp. It was the first glimpse of seeing her, and I'd been told like good things about her. So actually getting to referee a match, like she is very, very ground based, a lot of aggression. I would love to see a bit more personality from her, like be a bit more vocal and engaging for the crowd. But that was made up by Jill being so loud and out there. But no, I enjoyed the match. I thought like both of them like came across really well. I would love to see more of them, but be put with people that a bit more experienced, just to kind of like get them out of their comfort zone and actually like hopefully they come out of it learning a lot more as well. So I'm looking at it more for like their benefit, like with this. But no, I'd definitely like to see more of them. I'm intrigued with Corey Zero, and I enjoyed having Jungle Jill over. So
yeah. Now, following on from that, Niall, I'm gonna let you outline the intricacies of this spectacular occurrence. Is probably the best way to put it. There was in the tie-in to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is the theme of the show. They held a heist. So the heist was in regards to PB&J, Phil Boyd, and Justy. They held a heist. Not really sure what that means, but I do know that the Bradley brothers were involved. Wholesome Liam Leonard was involved. They had a man dressed up as SpongeBob SquarePants and a number of other interesting characters. Niall, please take us away. Outline what a heist was, what happened. I saw there was a new belt introduced to Fight Factory for this as well.
So, yes, from what I gathered through the explanation from Colin, it was for this nice cummerbund, like, no, for the smartest and best like wrestler / genius. So, but essentially, an undisclosed time limit was put on this, and whoever held it by the end of it was the winner. And so you can kind of imagine what kind of like chicanery like went on, like, and but basically by the end of it, everyone had the cummerbund in the hand, like in the hands, and then we're told, no, you are not the winner, because in actuality, Colin had it around his waist and was merely a pawn. He was an accomplice to who the real genius would turn out to be is Liam Leonard.
Yeah.
Who has won the cummerbund. But in doing so, was tied up in the ropes by everyone else and left there with his title draped around his shoulder. He was left there. And the show continued.
Oh my gosh.
While he's tied up in the rope.
That bloody Colin, he's got a lot to answer for. I don't know how he looks himself in the mirror in the morning. And the next time we see him, I swear to God, he'd be.
People say I'm corrupt.
Wondered why he didn't come on.
Listen,
those are the quiet ones.
You're justifiably corrupt, Foxy. You get assaulted in your day-to-day job.
Yeah.
So
Colin doesn't. He
just
announces it and then like, oh yeah, suddenly like, yeah. I know how I'm getting involved.
And that wholesome, Liam Leonard calling himself wholesome. He's not wholesome to me anymore. No,
it's a different type of hole.
All right. But listen, yeah, it's cool the way to have new upcoming talents from the Next Gen series like Liam Leonard, the Bradley brothers, kind of introduced into the scene as well. Following that, then we had Martin Steers versus Leyton Buzzrd for the Irish Junior Heavyweight Championship. While the two lads made their entrance to this, Liam Leonard was still tied up in the ropes with the cummerbund, as Niall said. This was supposed to be obviously unbelievable match from start to finish. Two guys who are unbelievably talented. Leyton Buzzrd, who's like the talk of the scene, like he was in a four-way the next day with man like Darius Leon Slater and Ninja Mac over in Sov Pro. He's here, there, and everywhere. Like he's possibly the most in-demand man on the scene in the whole of Europe currently. I think keep your eyes peeled just based on other announcements going around. See, he might pop up in one of the more pronounced promotions. I won't say where, but yeah, he's not long for these shores, so listen, really appreciate him any chance you get to see him. But yeah, Martin Steers equally held his own. Martin Steers beat Leyton. Martin Steers put on a hell of a showing. It was really cool. At the end of the night, you got to see a photo of Martin, LJ, and Fabio all have a photo together as well. So that was a really nice touch. Foxy, what did you think of this match?
Oh, unreal. Like what you said, like Leyton Buzzrd, like he's after coming on leaps and bounds just in the last year alone. Like he's constantly traveling now. He's like getting picked up by other promotions. Like he's working kind of like what Darius is doing at the moment, where he did the tour last year of like 50 dates, which is insane when you think about it. But like Leyton is doing the same thing where he's traveling to different countries and doing all these dates. And anytime he comes back over after doing this, he's stepped up so much more. even since like first debuting in Fight Factory, like his presentation hasn't changed much, but his in-ring skill has gone through the roof in terms of like how confident he is, what kind of stuff he can put together, and how
composed,
all-rounded and just great fucking wrestling that he can put on and work with anyone. So like what Mark said, like just appreciate him as much as you can, because he is definitely gonna go somewhere. Like and where that is, I don't know, but god damn it, like we need to like really like soak that in before he gets snatched up.
He's like not to hype him up as much as this, like, but he is like a young AJ Styles, like he's so comfortable in everything he does, like nothing seems like overthought. It's just like breathing to him, and everything he does, you just know like he's going to be phenomenal. His moonsault is out of this world. Like
it just flows.
He smashes it bang on every time you see him do that fucking moonsault. It's just a joy to watch him.
To add to that, let's forget that Martin actually won this match as well. Martin, everywhere he's gone the past year, he's gone up levels and levels, and he's so hugely appreciated. Like even from the matches with Wolves, with Subculture, they love him. Everybody, so many people are requesting to work with Martin. Every match he's had as Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion, be it with CBL and others, every match has been incredible. So listen, as good as Leyton Buzzrd is, you're only good as your dance partner. Martin Steers is bloody excellent as well. And again, see, we've talked about how good Leyton Buzzrd has gone in the space of a year. The same can be applied to Martin. Martin, see where he is this time next year. He could be even further on the chain. He's huge potential too. So yeah, listen, that was an all-round excellent show from Fight Factory. I can't wait for the on-demand to drop. Hopefully we get to do a stream amongst ourselves and enjoy the show as well. So again, touching on appreciating people while we have them. There's so many people from top to bottom of that card. Be it from the Fresh Life, the main event, Jay Steins. Listen, appreciate them all while we have them. So listen, we'll definitely try to get that on demand soon.
100%.
Yeah, a million %. But so great to get a chance to hear how it all went down at Fight Factory, and as we said earlier, tickets are available for the Fresh Life Summer Party. And like that's literally the craziness that Mark went through, which I have to say, Mark, my God, your timekeeping spectacular. The what you just went through is the tip of the iceberg of what to expect at a Fight Factory show. So make sure get your tickets. They're available now. It's on Eventbrite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Get onto Eventbrite, get your tickets sorted, and have the night of your life at Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. We would like to give a massive shout out to our podcast sponsor for this evening, which is the one and only Manscaped. Now, if you have not heard of Manscaped, if you have not ordered Manscaped using our discount code, if you are still absolutely covered in hair from the waist down and the knees up, what in the name of God have you been doing? Because my word, are you missing out? Manscaped Package 4.0, not being funny, I would buy it alone just for the ball deodorant. Why? Because the smell is just like anything else you've ever smelled before in your life, especially during this hot, nasty, clammy, damp, sweaty weather. Do you know this nastiness that we're having at the moment? We love the sun, but it's this horrible weather we're having at the moment. If you are not taking care of your Franken beans during these hot times, I would absolutely recommend that you go to Manscaped website and you purchase their brand new package 4.0. When you get to checkout and you have added all of your goodies to the basket for your basket, we would recommend that you pop IWE20 into the code box at the till. This will give you 20% off. But it doesn't stop there, because what's the one thing that annoys you when you go to checkout? You get this fantastic offer and then you get absolutely ball bagged on shipping, right? Not with the code from Irish Wrestling Entertainment. IWE20, you whack that in at the checkout, you will not only get 20% off your order, you will also get free worldwide shipping. What more do you want from us? Millions of balls worldwide have been treated to being manscaped. Roll on the ladyscaped, I can't wait. Defluff that muff, but we'll go for now, Manscaped. Not been funny. I hope it is. I really hope they bring it up, because I'm all on board for it. Your balls will thank you for it. So you'll never find a closer shave than you will then with Manscaped. So get on it. onto the website, IWE20 at checkout, 20% off your order and free worldwide shipping. And we thank them massively for being on board with the Irish Wrestling Entertainment Podcast for this episode. So from that then, the following night, we had an event down here in good old Gonty Corky, the real capital, as we all know it as, producing superstars such as myself. No, I definitely thought that was worth a try, right? I know.
We love Cork.
Right up there with Sonia O'Sullivan. I know, right?
Sonia O'Sullivan.
Yeah, yeah. She runs though. I don't. I'm not built for running.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the following night we had Rebel County Wrestling, or RCW. Hooked on a Feeling, which randomly enough, right? Wait until I tell you this. Hooked on a Feeling was the song at our wedding, right? For when we come into our wedding reception, randomly enough, right? Why? Because my maiden name is Feeling. So there you go. A little bit of an interesting fact there, Fino. I know you were all dying to know that, but a little interesting fact for you. So moving on from that, there was a pretty stacked card for this show, wasn't there?
Crazy card altogether. Like we were talking about it through the chat, like, when they started announcing these matches, like obviously the first match, that the biggest match they announced first was LJ against Charlie Sterling, a singles match, which is good enough, which should be good enough to headline any show in Ireland or the UK. Like, two of the most phenomenal talents. Like, we know how good LJ is. Charlie Sterling is probably one of the best unsigned. Mark, something you'd like to say, is probably one of the best unsigned talents in Europe, not the world. Like,
he's Mr. Perfect. Like, he's
so good. Like, he's so phenomenal. Like, so like obviously, like, circumstances changes when they found out the Kino, the owners of the Kino were selling up with the venue. It's the home of Cork wrestling, really. Like, and when they found out that was happening, they had an RCW belt that they had planned out, for the next show or the show after. They were planning on crowning it, but because of the chances, probably the last show in the Kino, they decided to change things up and wanted to close off the show with a title match. So LJ much deserved to be in a title match. He's been around Cork wrestling for almost 10 years, and he's still only 23, 24 years old. So he's been around a long time. So he definitely deserves to be in a title match. So you couldn't really take Charlie Sterling out of it just because of the title. So they decided to add Butch, who hadn't been advertised for a match at this stage, into the main event. Who's had a phenomenal year. He's been flying at the moment. So he got into the main event as well, which was massive for Butch himself. He had a title match in Hard Knocks recently against Terry Thatcher, which was fucking ridiculous how good that match was.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely deserved to be in it. Outside of that match, before we go into the results, we had again Leyton Buzzrd back in Cork the night after Fight Factory against Jay, who Danny Cross. Jay's dead. Battle of the Blondes. Two big matches announced before the show even took off. So we can start off, with two big matches. We'll get into them. Like, we start off, the show started off with a triple threat match. Renzo Rose making his return to Cork. He made his debut in the last show.
He's so hated. I love it. Even in Cork, I fucking hate him. It's amazing.
Have they copped he's actually Italian as well yet, or the last time?
I know. The last show, a lot of people didn't think he was.
His accent was fake. So good. Yeah. We're quite an intense bunch down here.
There was a few Mamma Mia chants anyway, so I'm pretty sure they're aware he's Italian by now.
Yeah, definitely.
So was it Renzo against Matt Schuyler and CBL again?
Crazy good.
This started out so brilliant though, because it started off before the match kicked off. It was a video package. I'm not sure if you've seen it on Twitter, but it's CBL back up in Longford.
Yep.
Stuck behind the gate, which is chained. He can't break open the chains, and in the background they have Fleetwood Mac's chains playing in the background, and he cannot break the chains. Those the amount of stuff he tries to break it with. When you watch it, it's so funny. Like, so basically, he's stuck there. They start the match as a one-on-one match with Schuyler and Renzo Rose, and they have a good match. It's a good back and forth. And then, like, maybe 5 or 6 minutes into the match, another video pack. Well, the two lads are down. They're lying down, and then another video package comes up, and he gets a a brave epiphany. He just stands up and looks, and he realizes he can climb over the gate, which is like up to his chest. Like it's just
it was hilarious.
And he just starts walking off down a country road, and he's like walking in, and next thing you know, the song starts off, and he just jumps into the ring and starts fucking beating the shit out of the two lads.
But everyone popped huge. They popped huge for him.
Like, over when it comes.
Culchies are here for culchies. I
but
tell you that.
Unfortunately, he didn't bring any ham sandwiches with him this time, so nobody slipped on any ham sandwiches this week.
Hit in the head at one of Contenders.
I know.
Hilarious.
But CBL got the win in this match. He pinned Renzo Rose, and actually there was some shenanigans through. Obviously, a triple threat. There's no disqualification, so there were some shenanigans, but Renzo ended up getting pinned, and CBL got the win, and then a massive pop as well.
He did, yeah.
He's really over in Cork.
We talked about CBL being comfortable in his character and comfortable in his own skin, like the effort and time he's putting into his video packages outside of the ring as well, like the thought going into that, like the hacksaw with the chainsaw with the hammer, and like just the kind of the build up with all those different video packages to then having a big reveal like that, something so simple that like he understood the tone of the room, the humor in the room, you know, that like I can get over the like kind of that Monty Python type of humor where he understands his character, understands the venue, he understands his crowd as well. So it's brilliant to see. And just to pick you up on something that Izzy, my father's from Cork City, he would be deeply offended if he was referred to as a culture. So please don't do that again.
Ooh, the city is different though. The city is a bit different. They're very refined in the city.
Well, ask Renzo Rose, they're all called. He called the Cork people culchies.
Yeah.
With
was he all right?
Accent.
No wonder he got booed.
Cool cheese. And I was like, he wants cheese. So somebody get this man some cheese.
For God's sake.
I know.
Delighted.
Yeah.
Had a great match. I'd love to see it again. It's good to see Skylar in a decent, triple threat match. He had a good performance in the build up before CBL come out to them. I'd like to see them go at each other one-on-one. Like it was a good back and forth match.
Yeah, and hopefully you get to see, like, you obviously see Renzo and CBL are kind of touring here, there, and everywhere. They're going to every stop all over the country. So hopefully, off a performance like this, you get to see Skylar popping up at Fight Factory, NLW, OTT, Hard Knocks, other places as well. You get to see him popping up at different training schools and stuff as well. So, listen, delighted for all three of them. Had a great showing to open the show.
Moving on from that, we had Anita Vaughn against Galacini, the legitimate Galacini.
Unbelievable.
I'll let you take that one, love, because you're a huge mark for Galacini.
I am, and you know what? I mean, and I'm thoroughly entertained watching Anita Vaughn's evolution. It's literally like I just think she's coming on leaps and bounds since we seen her. What, over a year ago in Cork, maybe back in Circus Factory?
Maybe.
And it's just to see the development and like to see her evolve. It's just, I think it's so great. It really, really is. And I think I moved under the world of good. I really do. But then out comes Galacini, and you just can't help but just giggle. He's so into what he's doing, and like, I mean, had he wrestled on the last RCW show? This wasn't his debut, was it? This is his second one.
It was a tag match.
I said this was his second. I think second. And the crowd loved him. And I have to say, right, what I noticed, because I like to have a little bit of a nose of the crowd to see how they're reacting to people. Every second person had their phone out and was recording Galacini. They just could not believe what they were seeing, and they were just howling. They thought it was the best thing they'd ever seen since sliced bread, So big thing in Cork, sliced bread. So it was just it's a real nod to Galacini. But I really, really enjoyed this match.
We started off with the dance off.
Lads started off with a dance off, right? He wanted Anita to have a dance off with him. And I mean, God bless him, the length of that man's legs, right? And he was able to do the jump through, right? I would kick myself in the head or the chest. Something would happen. I don't know how he did it, but he did. It was unbelievable. And then Anita faked him out anyway, didn't she? She totally did. And then she wasn't going to dance off at all. So he had no strike, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be fair. But it was a good fun match.
It was. She caught him a few times. He went for a couple of cross bodies, and she just caught him like he was nothing. Like,
amazing.
He's about 190, maybe 200 pounds. Like he's.
Yeah, and she's
most of that.
And Anita's like an incredible athlete. Like the amount of time she puts into performance or training as well. So it obviously hugely paid off.
Caught him in midair, like not just pick him up or slammed the way she did with boots and Hard Knocks. Like he jumped at her, and she caught him and stood there and walked her in the ring. I'm pretty sure
it's a cliche and a trope in wrestling to go the best characters are yourself, turn up to 11 or whatever, but you can apply that for in terms of their characters and their interactions, how comfortable they are in themselves, like their interactions with the crowd. You can apply that for both of them. Like Galacini, that is Galacini, like he does, that's his personality. Anita, her kind of personality of like telling Colin to go F himself at the Fight Factory shows, for example, that's her as well, and Colin deserves it most of the time too. So so like that, they're authentic, genuine people, and it's brilliant to see authentic, two genuine, hardworking people who do attend every training session under the sun, kind of succeeding and progressing as well.
Yeah. Just on a side note, Anita got the win with a dirty roll up. We'll call it a dirty roll up. But after the match, actually Galacini was accompanied by Chris Conley to the ring, and he kind of turned on Galacini at the end of the match, clotheslined him, walked off on him, left him alone because he lost the match. So he was pretty upset.
If you can't have him at his best, you can't have him at his worst. I'm sorry, no, it's not right.
After that, we got, surprisingly, the third match in the card was Leyton Buzzrd against Danny Cross. Third on the card.
Third on the card.
Yeah,
damn.
Very surprised.
Very soon.
I thought it would
Not
be.
Niles.
I thought it would have been like before the intermission.
Before interval, like that. That's the ideal spot for that.
Yeah. I was very surprised it was third. But Jesus Christ, what a fucking match!
So good.
It was. So yeah, I saw the video. He was announced as Danny Cross. His Tron said Jay, said the draw, came out to the draw music and everything. So big presentation, big match. So it's obviously curious positioning in the card, but like I've no doubt it blew everybody in the room away from both sides of them.
Ridiculous.
When Jay came out, sorry, Jay's dead, isn't he? When Danny Cross came out, right? The thing is that obviously because Leyton Buzzrd, he's been in Cork before, you know, and he's known in the wrestling scene in Ireland, so he was like super over. But when Jay came out, you could hear a pin drop. There wasn't a sound, but not in a bad way. Everybody, he had everyone's attention. Do you know that kind of a way? Because Danny Cross is the presence anyway. But like, now granted, I was probably the only one cheering for him, but I don't mind that. But because I'm a big draw mark. But it wasn't in a way of what the fuck is going on. He held the attention, but there just wasn't a sound. People were intrigued, you know. So it wasn't like fuck is this? It wasn't like a toilet break. Everybody was intrigued to know more about who Danny Cross is, because they would have known, you know, you're the best. Well, that's what they will remember, you know, from when he was here last. So, because that's been a while. It would have been CCW. Sorry, Phoenix.
No, Phoenix during the
Phoenix.
J Money,
first dates. Yeah.
You get that for OTT shows as well when the draw come out. Sometimes it kind of just not the energy, but it just turns to people like, oh, the bad guys. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of that, like, and that they do captivate you and do demand your attention. All their movements around, their mannerisms, their interaction with the crowd and stuff. So, like, people aren't like, boo, that damn Danny Cross, but like, they do demand your attention from the off, and it's not as if like I'd say people are going to their phones or anything. So like, that's obviously a huge positive in itself.
But the match itself, like, they're so similar in their style, and it was like, you know, they were wrestling themselves kind of thing, and the counters in the match were crazy. Like they you know, they knew what was coming, you know, next. Like they just knew how to bounce off each other. It was just a phenomenal match. Definitely one of those matches you got to go back and watch when it comes out on demand. It's
two Targaryens going back and forth.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much. Yeah, it was just like watching Alicent and Thingy's kitties just going mad, you know, without the dragons. It was mad.
Yeah.
It really was. But it was Leyton Buzzrd picked up the win, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Danny, I'll keep doing it. Dickhead to the end by refusing the handshake. Off he goes. And I was like, yes, that is absolutely fucking it. The mind him have to shake his hand at all.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Before the interval, then we had a comedy match. It was Mr. Charlie in a tag match against Sam the Sham and Chris Conley, who had just been out previously alongside Galacini. Charlie obviously came out with his box.
Yeah.
As he normally does. What's in the box? His tag team partner was in the box, but his little box, so he had to go off during the match to get a bigger box. The bigger box went up just beside the hard camera on stage. And throughout the match then it was pretty much a handicap match until he was able to get the hot tag. He hot tagged the box, out popped the hand, and out popped J Money
box. Thank you. I won't lie, I did come up with that. Thank you very much. I was very proud of Money Box.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
That Money Box is brilliant.
Money Box chant started soon after that. So, it was funny. Like it was a funny match. He kept the box on for most of the match. He was like a fucking transformer. It was like wooden big brown cardboard box, and his arms just popped out, and he was just walking around.
Yeah,
and he jumped off the top rope with the box on, squashing people with it. It was fucking.
It was nuts.
It was so funny.
It was really funny.
I hope I'm not sure has it been advertised yet? Is Trinity Brawl on this year? Do you know?
I think it's in the works anyway. I think it's for September, I believe. That's from what I've told. Now you may be more informed, but
I have no clue. That's always kept close to the chest, like because they don't know when they're gonna actually go for it or not.
Yeah,
I know it's been in the works for like well over a year, but like still, whether they actually do it is a different story.
Yeah, Jay Money is an absolute genius. Whatever he's doing, like going from one night he's a box, the night before he's Jesus. Like the next thing you know, he's leading a team of.
He's omnipresent, so like he can be wherever.
He's Santa, is he, or just kind of watching it?
He can be wherever the fuck he wants to be.
He sees you when you're sleeping.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Jesus. So fair enough. Yeah.
Well, they thankfully they got the win in this match. Good for them. It's very rare you see Mr. Charlie actually winning a match in Cork. He's normally getting squashed or he's scaring the crap out of Luke Barry in commentary, who's scared shitless.
He terrifies Rob. Rob Arden as well. So yeah, listen, there's a few people in there terrified of Mr. Charlie, and justifiably so, I may add.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very justifiably. After the interval, then we had
was there not at the end of that match? Was there not a reveal resurrection?
What?
A what?
Was that not the part where Billy Bedlam came back?
Oh yeah, sorry, Billy actually did get involved in this match.
I thought it was the next one, right? Okay, sorry.
No, he did. He
had to even out the playing field because
the referee took a couple of bumps throughout the night. He was down for most of the match, so Billy had to get involved and counted the pin.
He did, he had to count the pin. Yeah, he did. But that ref was bumped in 3 or 4 matches, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was knocked down in 3 or 4 matches.
Joseph Terrell started the show and Dylan Terrell ended the show. So it's like Dylan apparently is the evil twin of Joseph, and they're both one of them left and the other one came back.
That makes sense. You should prepare for every eventuality. Sorry, no, listen. It's not like
the Hebners, Earl Hebner and his brother.
Yeah, no, I'd seen a few different images on social media with the kind of the back screen saying Bedlam resurrected and Billy on the rope and stuff, and I saw Mr. Charlie and Jay Money in the ring as well. I was like, okay, that was the scene. So apologies to interrupt your flow.
No, you're right. You're right. I forgot it. I completely forgot about it. I forgot
he was in that one because wasn't he in another one as well?
Well, did he get involved? He kind of got involved in the triple threat at the start, but it wasn't really involved, and he just but he did come back in throughout the night a couple of times. So
yeah, that's what threw me off. Yeah. So then following that there was
and after the interval then we had Raven Creed against Reardon O'Connor. Okay, it's okay.
I know.
It's just a slip of the tongue.
Oh, hello.
This was a phenomenal match. I was looking forward to this. 2 of Cork's finest wrestlers. Who are good enough to be on any promotions card, really. Like they're phenomenal. I know Raven. We talk about Raven, how good she is. She's good enough to be on OTT, Hard Knocks. She's over in Progress. She's over in England a lot. I think Reardon O'Connor, he should be out there. He needs to be on more promotions. Like he's been
injured though, hasn't he?
He was injured for the last 6 months, so this is his first match back. Like he cost Raven the match against LJ on the last show. So it was a vendetta for Raven to get back at him, but through some shenanigans, as we call it throughout wrestling, Reardon ended up picking up the win. I was surprised that Raven didn't get the win for this. I thought she would be,
considering she's the Grand Prix champion and she wasn't in the main event.
Yeah, very surprised she didn't get a title match. But obviously they had this match planned out. It was a personal match that they didn't want to get rid of. So Reardon got the win, but Raven beat the crap out of him after the match was over.
Good.
And obviously they're going to set up. She already set up the rematch straight after. Called him out. Said whenever RCW comes back, wherever it is, that they're going to have a rematch. But he did get the shit beat out of him after.
Oh, slapped silly. Yeah.
Excellent. That's deserved. Well, listen, I suppose it's one of those things you can't build somebody up to coming back and cost somebody a match in his first match get loose straight away. So you've got to build intrigue around that. So
Absolutely.
hopefully that builds to a series. And listen, I think everybody knows, like, everybody interacts with her. I think Raven Creed is one of the best people in the country in the Irish wrestling scene. There was a photo went around recently of a number of Irish wrestlers who are at a WWE tryout as the anniversary of it, and you get to see. Great to see that she was at that tryout as well. And
Debbie and Aoife, wasn't it?
Debbie, Aoife, Session Moth, everybody was over there. So yeah, listen, I'm sure there's a big summer ahead for Raven. Big year ahead of no doubt. There's be it Progress, Hard Knocks, OTT, everywhere else. I'm sure it'll be booked rather here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah. Following that, then we had the second Dino, or probably the last Dino in the Kino, answered by
Open channel. Oh, answered by the Sam. Oh my God! Right, making his. Sorry, now, love. Right,
all yours.
I know. Yeah, I know. But look, come here, whatever. Right, not been funny. I was just dying when I saw the poster to say that he was going to make his debut in Cork. Right, okay, and I'm not even joking. He put massive effort into his social media content before the show. He was out and about in Cork, and he was doing all of these stills and everything. It was amazing, and I have to say, and I said to him afterwards, like, because I think he was like, he didn't know how Cork was going to react to him, right? Which just goes to show, like, when you don't realize how good you are, okay? Because Cork loved him. They lapped it up like a cat on the milk. I tell you now, they just loved him. They just took to him straight away, and he was so over, wasn't he? The pop, they loved him, like they really loved him, and he was just so happy afterwards, wasn't he? He couldn't believe it, like they just loved him. They really did. And like, to go from see what's in the box that Cork is used to with Mr. Charlie, then first then he didn't even get in between the ropes, and everybody wanted to know what was in the bag. Everybody wanted to know everything about him, the chants, everything. And I was, oh God help us, my heart would nearly burst for him. I was so happy for him, and I thought he'd done so well. Yeah.
It was
what happened then?
Well,
he's not even in the ring at this point now, Mark. And I'm just like marking a massive room.
Yeah.
They're doing it like, he was doing his gimmick throughout the start of the match, like he was trying to get on Dino's good side and be friends and stuff. Like, obviously throughout the match, Dino
did he trick him? He tricked me.
He tricked him. He'd done a few spots before he did what he did to you. Like, there was a few, like,
dancing to Hooked on Feeling.
He was ducking out of the way, Orange Cassidy style stuff, where he bent down and Dean fell backwards over him, kind of stuff, But eventually he got his hands on the bag and found out what was in it. And
he's a menace. He's striking people at will with cake. That if Joe or his evil twin Dylan, whoever the referee, that is a foreign object in the match. That should be an instant disqualification. Niall, if you were in the ring, I've no doubt you disqualified that menace. And listen, and Jerry, you better cut this into a short. Mr. Sem, I interviewed you 3 nice questions at your request outside the Ringside Club to promote you, and you struck me in the face with cake, and I'm still pulling cake out of my ears every day of the week. Next time I see you, and this is my Tyson Fury impression, you're going to get it, you big stiff idiot.
I'm so glad you were still pulling cake out of your ears, because I had no idea what was coming, and I was saying, please God, tell me he's going to say something that's not any other orifice. Or it's not, that would be a party trick. Let's make that into a short.
I'm pretty sure they're still cleaning cake up the floor of the Kino, because that cake went fucking everywhere.
Poor fucker in the front row.
Billy was sitting there, and the cake just went, and for some reason, when he stood up, there was cake on his ass. No idea how it got on.
Destroyed.
Some man in the front row then just the rest landed on his feet. Literally a big chunk of cake just went right between his crotch and landed on.
No one is safe. When is enough? When are these poor cakes gonna be left alone? Like this?
Oh yeah, and Billy had a new canvas for the ring, brand new, spotless, and
destroyed.
Cream everywhere.
I love it.
Destroyed. And even the fella it hit was in the front row. He was just having such a good time. He didn't care that he was covered in cream from the waist down. He was just having such a good time.
The Blue Paper Brigade were on fucking overtime to get it ready for the main event.
Bum.
Actually, a bit of shout out. Sam actually won that match.
Yeah.
Dino and the Kino.
He cheated. What you're telling me is he cheated. But go on. Sorry. Yeah.
Stop it. He provided refreshments and won.
Nourishment, yeah.
Cream always rises to the top.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. Then on to the main event, as we mentioned, it was LJ versus Charlie Sterling versus Butch Armstrong. Fucking phenomenal match. There was at least 2 or 3 "this is awesome" chants throughout the match. There was so many spots in it, like, but you know, the psychology of the match was brilliant. Like, obviously for triple threats, you normally get 2, you know, 1-on-1. Somebody ends up outside the ring. Butch and Charlie Sterling went at it for a bit. Whoa. I want to see that match. I want to see that at 1-on-1 match. I know we want to see LJ and Charlie in a 1-on-1 match. Wherever it happens, it'll be brilliant. But it was good to see Butch in there with somebody like Charlie Sterling as well, and see what he can do. The 2 big men, like, and Charlie Sterling is a big dude. Like, I mean, his legs are fucking. Nobody can wear them budgie smugglers the way he wears them and not make it look weird. His legs are fucking enormous. They're probably bigger than LJ.
There's nothing wrong with budgie smugglers. Big fan.
Yeah.
That budgie was nearly not smuggled. I tell you this much.
There was a few budgie smuggler chants in there.
But listen, yeah, any iteration between those 3 going forward in terms of single matches, LJ, Butch, AJ, or anybody, Charlie. Listen, I've got my own opinions. I think Charlie's probably best unsigned wrestler in the world, if not Europe or not world. That's just my own view, and I think he's just incredible what he does. LJ obviously is just limitless potential. Like, everybody goes on about he won the first ever RCW title. You'll probably get to the nuts and bolts of the match shortly, but people talk about you deserve it. There's nobody who's earned it more than him. People can nobody deserves anything, you earn it. And he puts in more work than anybody else in the country, in my opinion. That might be an ill-informed opinion, but that's my own take and my own views and interactions with him. He's eats, sleeps and breathes wrestling. This is his entire life. He puts himself through to great expense, traveling all over the world to train here, there and everywhere, to coach in Limerick a number of days a week, or 1 day a week, and coach in different schools other days a week. Put the investment he makes into his own merchandise and his own gear, his own brand, his image. Like, there's nobody in my view who deserves the success he's enjoying now more than LJ Cleary.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. He's something else, like, to be fair. But as you were saying, that was a solid match. Like, there was no doubt that was an absolutely solid match. There was shenanigans in this match as well that I'm not really sure how much of a fan I was of it, because I think it's probably more because we don't know where it's leading. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. That said, I'm glad the result was what it was, but Anita Vaughn interfered in the match and cost Butch a pin, didn't she?
Yeah, he had the match won.
Yeah.
They were going for the 3 count, and she grabbed his leg and pulled him out, and that was.
And he was gone to the back for 5-8 minutes, maybe
a good 7 minutes.
A good 7
before
minutes.
the end of the match, he was gone. He was gone. He ran out through the curtain, and that was it. It was just between Charlie and LJ to finish off the match.
Running around the streets of Cork after that, like, fair enough. Could have been in a high-speed chase. Yeah, listen, sorry, but listen, as we said at the Fight Factory show, where the curious booking leads to more questions and makes you sit up and pay attention. Like, a lot of people can say, like, oh, why does somebody do that? Let it play out, as you said, Jerry, from speaking to you over the weekend. Let it play out. Look where it's seen comes next. I'm sure there is things in the line, be it once they have settled on a new venue, there's obviously a plan in place. So everything is going to be leading to new directions off the back of this now. And if it leads to higher profile spots and positioning for Butch and Anita, like, I'm delighted for them, and 2 people more deserving I can't think of. So yeah, listen, it sounded like an unbelievable match, unbelievable main event with multiple angles leading off the back of it.
Just you mentioned, like, for the 7 minutes at the end that LJ and Charlie went 1-on-1 with each other.
They went at it.
Oh my god,
it was amazing. It was so good to see.
It was just non-stop. Like, there was no downtime for that 7 minutes. They were just going. It was just like fucking hell. Like,
I saw a clip of the finish of the match where Charlie coming off the top rope, discarding the belt seamlessly, come around straight into the diving destroyer. It's the most seamless, smooth, beautiful thing from both parties. It's just outstanding, incredible level of talent at both ends. So yeah, listen, I cannot wait for it to come out in demand. I'm delighted to see such a sellout, and also like an unbelievably successful show for RCW on their last show in the Kino. Hopefully not the last show in the Kino, but possibly and obviously a landmark show to mark LJ as the RCW champion, more importantly.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, it has been a very, very eventful evening.
It has.
We've had a lot to chat about, and we are all super, super excited about what's happening over the summer for Irish wrestling.
So
make sure.
What is happening?
Oh
Foxy,
my God, where to even
you're
start?
in the know. What's the next show that's coming up?
To be fair, we could probably just look at Foxy's schedule and know everything, to be fair, because why? He's the hardest freaking working man in Irish wrestling entertainment.
So next on my calendar anyway, is July 2nd.
Yep.
That is NLW. Then we have July 8th, 7th for Fight Factory. Then the following week for the 15th and 16th is OTT. That is taking place in the Complex and in Belfast. Then for late July is
Hard Knocks.
Yes, the 30th of July is Hard Knocks. So that's what I know of for July, but August is a different story.
Definitely.
At least you have one weekend off.
Well, this is it, yeah. But like, look at what's coming up just for the month of July. So many. And if you have not seen the latest promo for Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling Hard Luck, that is taking place in Dolan's on July 30th. Oh my God, get on it. Mikey Kelly, I'm not even joking. I think you're going to have your balls handed to you, because I think Steve Savage is getting into that building one way or the other. So I cannot wait to see it. We'll be doing commentary that night as well. So super, super excited. It's casino themed, so we will be dressed appropriately. Mark, will you make it down for Hard Knocks to check out Foxy working?
1,000,000%. I'll be keeping a close eye on him, making sure he won't be assaulted at his workplace. Hopefully he'll have a standby, much like they did then in RCW. You can learn one or two things, but in case he gets attacked during his workday, he has somebody on standby to help him. If you want me to step in and help you, I'll be much obliged. No problem at all. If that damn Francis Mercer gets in your face again, now listen, I'll step in for you now.
Oh my God, because to be fair, Foxy was pretty saucy at the last show, and I think you have to be, Foxy.
I've been around a long time, and a lot of people have come and gone, and I will admit this is a new thing for people to try and test me in that way. But whoever his agenda is, whoever it is, I don't know, but I'm not going to play into it. Simple as that. So
there's fighting words, lads. Fight words. He's just, bottom line, Foxy is just not having it. He is not having it. There would be no shenanigans in his ring unless there is a cummerbund involved. Isn't that right?
Hey, I was half tempted to grab that thing myself.
I wouldn't blame you. Fuck it, I'm winning. This is it. Exactly.
I want to win this thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that is July wrapped up, guys, in a neat little package, as Homer would say. But if you have not already booked tickets for any of the events, make sure you do get on it. They sell out really, really quickly, and you are in for an amazing evening's entertainment for any of the aforementioned events. Make sure and like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think of the Irish wrestling scene at the moment? Did you attend any of the shows that we were discussing? If so, let us know below. Let us know maybe what was your favorite match. Were the right people crowned champions? Are you looking forward to the next event? Are you going to the next event? Let us know, see what you think. Are you liking what you're seeing? Absolutely, we'd love to hear. Make sure and subscribe and hit your notification bell as well, so you will know when our videos go up, of course, including all of our content from our fantastic weekend with the School of Irish Wrestling in Dublin. And if you have not followed us on Twitter, if you are not following us on Instagram, if you are not joining the millions and millions of views on TikTok, again, what the hell are you doing? Get on it. We're at Irish Wrestling 8, where you'll find all of our content and so much more to come. We thank again our sponsors for this evening's episode, which is Manscaped. Your balls will thank you even. IW20 at the checkout, 20% off your order and free shipping. But other than that, from myself being a sensational Queen Lizzie, from himself being Booker G 5 times, from the Pie Man himself, Mark, I need to come up with something with your pie, but yeah, definitely the Pie Man. He is the Pie Man. So here we go. Poor Mark from Wrestle Mobs. Mark, we will make sure you are vindicated from what from the trauma that you suffered. Okay.
I demand justice.
I think you should, or at least a lemon meringue. You know, I mean, to be fair, there wasn't even a bit of flavor in that. I would absolutely go for a lemon meringue. I'm just saying, right?
Either or, yeah.
Definitely. And of course, the one and only working referee in all of professional entertainment in the wrestling form, and good enough to gate crash our podcast and come in a late run. And we love the run-ins.
He ran in there like Charles fucking Robinson during wrestling.
Mate, I tell you, he literally lapped fucking
Charles Robinson.
Usain Bolt. Oh my God, little Nate. That is still the
Little Nate.
best run ever, isn't it? It's just such
Yes.
a thing. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, will somebody please get him a cab or one of the little mini rings I think are bringing it down. He must have been bait. But definitely a massive, massive thank you as well to Silver Fox for joining us too. And we hope to see you all on the show really, really soon. So from all of us here at IWE, bye for now.
Bye, guys.